I am super excited to share this video with you all today. This is my DIY kitchen cabinet makeover video. It has been highly requested on my YouTube videos to share the details of how I took my kitchen from this to this. And I can't tell you how happy and delighted we are with the overall finish of our kitchen since it's been painted. The first thing you need to do is remove all of your cabinet doors from the kitchen to be able to clean them and degrease them with some sugar soap. This worked perfectly with my kitchen cupboards to get rid of any grease or marks. I then went in with a microfiber cleaning cloth, but sometimes this just didn't cut it, so I went in with a good old magic eraser to remove all of those stubborn marks that I just couldn't get rid of. I then used some 220 grit sandpaper just to get rid of any little marks that were still on the doors. A couple of little chips were also found on the doors, and I found by sanding those back it gave a much better finish. There is quite a heavy dint there, but by giving it a light little sand with the sandpaper it did help to give a nice smooth finish once I'd primed and painted the cabinets. I then lightly sanded or keyed the surface of every door. With my doors, I chose to use a paintbrush on the inside of the inlay. These are shaker style doors, and using a roller wouldn't have given me an even finish where there was some little chamfered edges in the door. So I went in with a paintbrush and then I went in with a gloss roller. I used Bin Zinsser primer and I applied 2 coats to every cabinet door, and the paint that I used was Estate Modern Eggshell by Farrow & Ball, and I chose the shade Ammonite, which is a very off-white slight grey colour, and I feel like that was the perfect colour for a north facing kitchen that can be quite dark. As you can see, by using the roller to paint this kitchen, it has maintained the grain in the wood, which was one of the things that I wanted to keep. This isn't a laminate style kitchen, it is a solid wood shaker kitchen, so I knew it could take the paint perfectly. My dining room became my workshop and my tumble dryer became my workbench. But I needed to make the most of the space that I had, and I didn't have anywhere else to do this. It did take me a week and a half to get it all finished, but once the cabinet doors were dry, it was time to start work on the actual kitchen. So I filled in any little holes or gaps that could be seen in the kitchen because I felt like that would give it a much better finish when it was all done. And I have to say, the time that you put in and the preparation that you put in to transforming your kitchen and giving it a little makeover will be what help it to look its absolute best once it's all finished and painted. I did take out the extractor hood because this is what had caused a lot of the grease in the kitchen. As it didn't have any outside extraction, it needed to be a recirculating extractor hood with some charcoal filters, which it didn't have, and I presume it had never had them because of the amount of grease that had stuck to the kitchen. So that was a small added expense, but definitely worth it. After applying 2 coats of Zinsser Bin primer to the cabinetry, I then done a little bit of cutting in on the cabinets with the Farrow & Ball Ammonite paint, and with every coat of primer and paint that was applied, I ensured it was thoroughly dry before going in with another coat. I did try to save all of the cabinet handles off the kitchen, but they were extremely rusty. This was one of the better ones out of the set of handles, but they were just too far gone. I managed to clean up about 8 of them and ended up giving up and decided to just have a little look on Amazon and try and find some new handles for the kitchen. And I decided to go for something a little more feminine and more in keeping with the theme that I was going for in the kitchen, which was light and airy with a little slight feminine touch. And I found these antique brass handles and thought they're going to be perfect. It took me no longer than 15 minutes to fit all of these handles in the kitchen. It was super easy. I used my little Bosch electric screwdriver and I had the job done in no time. And there we have my little DIY kitchen cabinet makeover on a budget, apart from having to buy a new extractor hood. But I can't recommend enough giving this a try. If you have a wooden kitchen that you think could really benefit from a lick of paint and some new handles, I can't recommend it enough. I'm so happy that we didn't rip this kitchen out when we moved into the property 3 months ago and kept it, because I can see this being a little yearly or bi-yearly thing that I do to just give the kitchen a little revamp. I will of course give updates on my YouTube channel throughout the next year, 2024, of how the kitchen is withstanding with the modern eggshell paint and the Zinza primer, but I can't recommend them enough up to now. They've been absolutely great. I can put a cloth over the kitchen, no bother, and everything just looks so much better than it looked before. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video and it's been a little bit informative for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video.